So this is a very long history of U.S. tariffs, the U.S. tariff rate over a very long period of time. It's the red line is really the one that matters. It's the rate of tariff on goods that were subject to import duties at all. During the time when America had very high tariffs, we actually didn't import very much of the things that were subject to tariffs, so that the average rate was quite a lot lower, but never mind. The red line is the one you want to look at, the average tariff rate on dutiable imports. And what you can see from that is that for a long period of time, basically from the 1860s up until the 1930s, the U.S. typically had tariff rates, average tariff rates, of around 40%. It fluctuated a bit. I think I would be too technical to tell you why it fluctuated, but those were basically just episodes of deflation and inflation that caused some fluctuations. But basically, the U.S. had a tariff rate of typically around 40% for a long period of time, which is also what could happen again if we go to a trade war. That's if we try to make estimates, and I'll explain that in a moment. Then things changed, and there's a crucial moment in the history of trade, which is not before many people think of it, but where it says Trade Agreement Act in 1934. That's where the United States government, the U.S. Congress, passed a law that allowed the President of the United States to negotiate trade agreements with other countries, which would then be subject to an up or down vote. So that instead of Congress voting 300 different tariffs, the President of the United States would make a trade agreement, and that would then be subject to a vote, enable him to make deals. It would allow the United States initially to make deals with one country at a time. The U.S. would go to Brazil and say, if you take our wheat at a lower tariff rate, we will take your coffee at a lower tariff rate. It allowed them to make deals that traded off concessions by one side for concessions by the other. And that was very, very important for the political economy of trade policy.